Shifting focus to the Ukraine war, Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared a 3-day ceasefire in the war to mark the 80th anniversary of the Soviet Union and its allies' victory in World War II. On Monday, the Kremlin said that the 72-hour ceasefire would begin on May 8th and conclude on May 11th. Moscow urged Ukraine to join in the truce as well. However, the statement warned that if there were any violations by the Ukrainian side, Russia's armed forces would respond in an adequate and effective manner. Shortly after the Kremlin announced this second unilateral truce in Ukraine, Moscow residents expressed support for the ceasefire but also expressed doubts about its longevity.
If he decided that the ceasefire is needed, I think it's a very well considered. It's not just something. Well, as for our opinion, we are not politicians. They know better. One thing I can say is that we trust a lot.
Ceasefire is good. I don't know if Zelensky will agree to it or not. He's the one who has been pulling tricks. I fully support the ceasefire.
Well, before the ceasefire was announced, the Russian Defense Ministry reported that its troops had taken control of the settlement of Kamainka in Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region. On the same day, the Russian Defense Ministry released footage of demining operations conducted in villages in the Kursk region that it says has been completely retaken from Ukrainian forces. The Russian military personnel were seen collecting various types of mines to prepare for controlled explosions afterward. Putin also reportedly telephoned his top commanders in Kursk to congratulate them on their victory and the successful conclusion of the operation to expel Ukrainian forces from the region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that Ukrainian forces remained active in the Kursk and Belgorod regions of Russia. He acknowledged the challenging situation in many areas, but emphasized that Ukrainian forces were actively engaged in defensive operations in a bid to resist the Russian advances in the Kursk region. In yet another development, Russia's state television aired footage showing North Korean soldiers training in Russia. Earlier, Putin expressed his personal gratitude to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for the role played by the North Korean troops in driving Ukrainian troops out of Kursk. And remember, this is for the first time in war that North Korea has confirmed that it had sent troops to fight for Russia. As far as Putin's ceasefire announcement on Monday is concerned, there was no immediate response from Kiev. And this is the second such proposal put forth by Putin following the 30-hour Easter ceasefire that both the sides accused each other of violating various times. On Monday, U.S. President Donald Trump has called for a permanent ceasefire to end Russia's war in Ukraine. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt told reporters that Trump was increasingly frustrated with both Putin and Zelensky and urged them to come to the negotiating table to bring an end to the ongoing war.
He thinks that he is increasingly frustrated with leaders of both countries. He wants to see a permanent ceasefire. I understand Vladimir Putin this morning offered a temporary ceasefire. The president has made it clear he wants to see a permanent ceasefire, first to stop the killing, stop the bloodshed. And while he remains optimistic he can strike a deal,